Okay, you ready to roll? Brilliant. Troy, really good to see you, mate. Thank you very much for having a conversation with me. How are you? How's your week been?
Well, thank you for the invitation. And yes, I'm very well, thank you. Quite exhausted because I've been quite busy in the last few months, working on various projects and also have a 1.5-year-old son, a toddler. And the lockdown, you know the story. Not easy.
Yeah, difficult. And I've got a 1-year-old son as well, and he was just turned one on Saturday. When we're trying to manage all the creative stuff, and of course being there for our
Chaos,
family,
chaos,
but,
chaos. Gotta be
it's
weird.
been tough. It's been tough. Before I know we're going to have this amazing, rich conversation. I'm trying to say I'm loving your debate. I'm absolutely loving this debate. The setup you got is great. When I first spoke to you ages ago, I had this really boring room. I had nothing on the wall. It was just blank, boring office. And then I saw the photos of what you did. I thought, oh my God, this is what I'm doing. I'm inspired to put stuff on the wall. So I started putting all my artwork on there because your space is great.
I think it's very important to have a nice background, especially when it comes to presentations. I like plants. I like green color. Basically, it reminds me of my fabulous time in South America, in the jungles of Guyana. So this is where my father came from. So it brings me happy memories. And also I've got my Death Ray posters that I've done over the years. It brings me so many flashback in the mind.
I miss just traveling. I miss being to those things. And of course, a lot of this stuff is affected by COVID. So, which is, I think, why we talk about this, because, COVID affected us in a lot of ways. So, how is COVID? I know the stupid question. How has COVID been for you? Or how did yours been for you?
To be honest, I've caught the coronavirus myself. So, it was hard, man. It was hard. At first, I didn't believe it was a real thing. And would it really, really hit us, me and my family? Yeah, it did. It hit us back last year in April. It was so unexpected, never expected.
Yeah.
You thought it would originate from China, and you hear all these different stories and theories, and it was difficult. So yeah, we caught it. At the same time, I have to say thank you to my lucky stars. The Arts Council at that time awarded me a massive funding, and for me to do my first ever online deaf festival, which has never been done before. So
And it was fucking amazing, by the way.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'd love to talk to you more about that. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a massive, massive opportunity. So that was, like I said, a game changer for us. So, working with different deaf performers abroad, that I could never dream of, to work with these people, and this coronavirus has changed it, and it allows me to contact these deaf performers around the world. So it's good things and bad things, but for me so far, it's been good.
So you talk about the Death Rave, which was, I think, probably the highlight of my year. Seeing Death Rave, what you did online, it was just incredible, absolutely incredible. I just don't know how humanity peaked it. I was actually in Poland when at the time and performing, and I watch it in between my performance in the rehearsal because some of the stuff you put on was incredible. Of course, we could talk a lot about Death Rave, but I'm more interested about you as a musician. I mean, obviously you're a musician. You go by the name of DJ Chinaman, so I'm interested how your musical roots come about, you know, and I'm also really interested about music and death, and the commonality between it, because so many people, and we hear that all the time, hearing people say, music, you like music, same old. So yeah, that's the thing that I'm kind of interested in, and you're pioneering the whole thing about the normality of how deaf people appreciate and music and becoming musicians themselves. That's what I hear. I know there's a lot to talk about, but it'd be great to hear more about it.
The name that was awarded me, DJ Chinaman, I have to thank you, the deaf community that awarded me that sign name. Thank you. Basically, I got involved in the deaf community from early, growing up. But when you actually go to a deaf pub when you're 17, 18, and you meet all these fabulous deaf people in the community, and they will ask you, what's your name? And then I will finger spell it. They always come up with Trio, which is the wrong receptive of my name. But in the end, everyone had the same name, so they awarded me Chinaman. So it's much more visual motivated, probably. So I would know Chinaman. But as growing up, as I got older and older and started getting involved in deeply with music, then it became an added word, DJ. So DJ Chinaman, that was the name that was given to me when I did my first house party, which was 2002. So that's where my name came from, originated from, in 2002, from the deaf community, from the deaf pub. Yeah, but I have a long history before I even met the deaf community when it comes to music. I was already involved in music before I met the community. So that's a long story. Okay, so I was born in London, near Hackney. So it's a very
That's the time for
strong Hackney.
Love it.
Yeah, it's almost like
cool name.
Hackney, you know, we're cool. We're famous for music. This area.
Okay.
So, especially in the 80s and 90s, there's a very strong black community. So it's very vibrant with the Jamaicans and the Caribbeans, and also the English, Afro-Caribbean. So I had a lot of upbringing in the music when growing up in the area, which is a lot of black music, basically. And also my cousins were professional DJs, so they were playing professional hip hop back then. They were much older than me, and they were doing vinyls, records. So I used to watch them and always say to myself, I want to be like these guys. They were like my superstars when I was watching them. And yeah, thankfully I can hear music with hearing aids. So that's what made me enjoy music and get involved in music. But yeah.
I've always loved music. I remember when I was about 10 years old, going to my cousin's house. I used to play Public Enemy, NWA, Beastie Boys, and I used to listen to them. I used to listen to them, and I'm thinking, I'm loving this. But I'm like you, I'm thankful for my hearing aid, but I never knew the lyrics. But I used to spend hours and hours and hours trying to really memorize the lyrics, and so I could really understand the context of what the song is. But then as I got older, I realized lyrics are important, but the way how I feel with the music, so I get to base or watching other people visually. But that's the same for you, or do you think music is on a deeper level? Is it music on a deeper level for you when it comes to your
I'm more of a sound man, and beats. So vocals, I would know if it's a man or woman, sure, but understanding what they're saying, rapping, is very difficult. So I'm more into the rhythms and the movements. But yeah, I'm like you, you know, I had my first enjoyable music experience, specifically my first Sony Walkman cassette player.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My mum bought it for my birthday. I think I was around maybe 11 or 12. And then I had the headphones, and then I used to have a loop switch on the hearing aids, which I still have. It's a T switch. So it's a loop. So you put your headphones on and you can absolutely hear full music. The backgrounds.
I think I used to remember them. Didn't you have to put them in a funny position to get onto the
on top of my ears?
Yeah.
Example, I've got headphones somewhere. Yeah, so it would be something like this. Instead of people like this, normally I would have to put it up here like that on top of my ears.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, crazy, man. But that's how I enjoy music and became addicted. School studies when I was 14 was terrible, you know, ignore the teachers, especially the art lessons, you know. You just listen to the music, man, and draw.
So you've got a lot of musical influences coming from your family, so that's probably a really good thing for you. Who would you say your musical influencer?
Pretty much the same as you, Public Enemy.
Right.
You
think that's because of the bass?
Yeah, I think the 1980s it was hip hop at the time, definitely. And then when I got older, when I was 18, hip hop, I kind of like stopped listening to hip hop and became involved in the rave scheme. So that's a completely different game altogether. You know, how do I explain the rave? Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I'm actually talking to you about this. I can't remember having an interview about my experience when I was going to these raves in 1993, my first one. Yeah, so whatever happened on that night was the best moment of my life in some sense, in musical sense. And you know, when you're 18, you know, this is the party, man. I mean, this is something you've never experienced, you've never seen, you've never, how do I say, feel this vibe. It was just a new open door thing that was so close to my home that I never knew it existed. And then from there, that moment when I went through that rave, through that door for my first rave experience, never look back.
I think we're really lucky in the way that 1993 was the pivotal moment when it came to music, because the rave scene was so big. And for me, rave scene for me was about connecting with everyone else. Because I always thought that the rave scene, because the music is so much like
it was more than that. It was a community.
Community. So I think, yeah, absolutely. So I think that's the way I felt a belonging. So we come to my question about belonging, and about in a way that do you feel, or have you always tried to fit in? And I'm not talking about with the music. I'm talking about in the way of your upbringing, trying to fit in because you were a bit different.
No, being deaf wasn't easy growing up, that's for sure. So it was like a double extra homework for me. But again, I was very lucky to have a lot of good people around me. So, you know, I had a lot of cousins and friends and brothers to advise me. So, yeah, so I didn't see my deafness any different from anybody else. I didn't see it that way. I was very outgoing. I was very adventurous. You know, I went to my second school from growing up from 11, I had to leave home and travel for 1 hour, getting the bus and the tube on my own from age 11 in London. So, you know, traveling for 1 hour, going from one area to another area, it was like an adventure every day for me. So it made me very independent.
Yeah.
But also I have to thank you to my mum, especially for her to support me in speech therapy.
Oh, right. In what way was that?
So that's an important,
What way
yeah,
did?
because she had big concern that how am I going to communicate with people when I get older. So she basically forced me to practice from age 2 to 11 every day for 1 hour or 2 hours. So it'd be like, buh, 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 ha, 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 hello, that kind of stuff. So if it wasn't for my mum teaching me, I don't think I'd be talking to you right now.
It's interesting. Honestly, I can't believe we're budded because it's just stuck in the same thing. And maybe
Lip reading.
generational, how a lot of people in the 70s or the 80s, they were almost had to do speech therapy. I mean, I did speech therapy from 2 all the way up to 18. And I remember getting taken out of classes. And I really want to learn it.
One-to-one.
Yeah, to have one-to-one, to learn to speak. I like to be traumatized by it. And my mum often asked me, did I do the right thing?
I loved it. It was always beautiful women that trying to teach. You know, I was more interested in looking at the lips. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
are you always, so I imagine you're very respectful of that your mum was able to teach you how to speak, and you really believe that. Because I often think about it, if I didn't speak a lifetime, would I be a different person? I mean, obviously, you've probably seen deaf musicians who just died, but they are musicians in their own right.
It's very important that we all have our own responsibilities for our own communication. So I think I had the energy and the will to do it, to have the want and to try and achieve what you want to achieve, especially in communication. So I'm very lucky that I had people around me that will polish my English when I speak. If it was wrong, they would say, no, that doesn't sound right. But they would laugh at it. You know, I must have said thousands of wrong things and everyone would laugh at it. So, yeah, I was like a bit of a joker, to be honest. But, yeah, to be honest, I had a fantastic childhood growing up, you know, in a tough place. But back in the 80s, we had so many children on the street and we were all together. So that's how it made me who I am today, outgoing and never shy, introducing to myself or trying to approach people. Because I know a lot of deaf people in the community, their confidence is quite, not quite the same as mine. That's only because I could communicate, so I can understand that. And I have an empathy for the deaf community as well. But they didn't have the right access, support, possibly. So maybe the family or the school, they didn't do speech therapy. So we're lucky. We're very lucky.
Yeah, so you kind of got the best of both worlds, really, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's what my mum's looking at in the future, in the long run. Yeah.
Little Maiden, your musical influence really inspiring, and the fact you brought up in a very multicultural city, which obviously probably had massive influence on your career, I guess.
Upbringing. Yeah.
And we talked then about how your mum very with a massive influence to the way you're confident and you're adapting, thinking about the future, and all of these I'm kind of connected with. I've got a lot of things in my mind. Just want to ask you. I'm trying to think about something that I really want to talk about. I think there are two things that come into my mind, which you said earlier. So I think from last year, the two the two most important things that happened, well, obviously COVID and your fantastic Death Rave online festival. Now, if it wasn't for COVID, you probably would not have created this fantastic festival. Am I right saying that?
Not true. No. Actually, last year, yes, it was a bad thing for me as well. I just realised because I had 5 actual events lined up for 2020, including a Death Rave festival outside in the park.
Oh, right.
Yeah, man.
Wow. Right, that in the UK.
So I think maybe that's probably one of the reasons why, who knows. 2003, I started from here, and that was doing events and parties and small performances, showcases. Now, 2020, 18 years or 17 years later, I'm up to about here. And now I'm just starting festivals, outdoor festivals. This is the ultimate dream for me, coming from parties from here and then going from here to festivals. So 2019, we did our first Death Rave festival, but it was small in Victoria Park, and it was a big success. And then 2020, the park would offered me again. So we had these major plans and nice lineup booked, but yeah, COVID stopped it all. So, and then I had some other plays like the South Bank, Battersea Art Centre in the theatre world. So, Death Rave was slowly getting into a new venture. But yeah, so that's cancelled now. So that's out the window. So you lose some and you win some. But I took it on the chin. And then we just got to carry on being proactive and think positive. At the end of the day, coronavirus is stopping the world or stopping your job or this. Yes, it has. It had effects. But at the same time, it's given us time to create. That's the good thing, but it's pros and cons, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think something really great come out of it. And I think for you must reflect on what you did, what you achieved by creating an amazing festival online, bringing in
it was great. It was great. But
around the world.
It's not the same with the actual event live when you get people coming into the park. It's green, it's tents, it's sound systems.
Absolutely. But what you did, Troy, you gave deaf artists a platform. You gave those deaf artists, those deaf musicians, a massive platform to be able to showcase their work, and I
think it will come again. We will be given another opportunity again one day. So I'm not worried. So for now, we just have to use your tools to carry on. And that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah. So Death Rave, you talk quite passionately about Death Rave, and what did it mean to you? Is Death Rave for you is for deaf people to get together and enjoy the experience, or Death Rave is something that you're saying, hang on, get it out. We are musicians, Is that what Death Rave means to you? Or did more than that?
It's a mixture. I'll call it fate for me personally. It's the burden to take this role and that responsibility that I had to carry.
Yeah.
For 18 years now. So, which a lot of people don't realize what I've been through. I've been in serious struggles. It wasn't always beautifully a smooth journey. I had to learn from the hard way. It was tough, man. You know, you start from here, the bottom, and you work your way up. But I have to say, Death Wave is, for me personally, it had to be done. It's in some ways it's it's difficult for me to explain it. For me, it's like the wheel of life.
Yeah.
You know, people, especially the community, they come and go. And to be honest, it's everyone around the world. People come and go. But at the same time, when it comes to Death Wave, it had a connection. And it's the same thing with Glastonbury festivals or Boomtown festivals or any major events. It's a group of people together, and you know, it creates a wonderful vibes, and anything can happen to each individually. You know, if we didn't do those parties, we wouldn't have deaf man and a deaf woman meeting up, and now they're married. Now they have children. So we're basically carrying on a new deaf generation to carry on forever. But that wasn't part of my plan. And I don't want to take any blame that they had a fallout and they're not together anymore. That's nothing to do with me. Okay, so that's one. Number two, we have to do this is because deaf people are isolated community, man. And there's not enough social for entertainment. And I think it's really important. Music and a bit of drink is really important for people to come. You know, that's not the main reason why we do that, but also we do showcases. So it's important that I show deaf talents their skills, to carry on with their skills and developing their skills, and to inspire new people to come on board with sign songs and dance and whatever the visual performance it can be. You know, I think it's really important that deaf culture continue to provide some form of entertainment for our community, because if we don't do it, then nobody's going to do it.
Absolutely, and I think it's so important. Sometimes I get asked to go to event in deaf club locally, and I'm just not. I don't feel it's for me to go. Because
it's different vibes.
Exactly.
It's a different culture thing.
I don't know, Death Rave came to Wales, and the response I got from people was fucking incredible. The people were like, motherfucker, this is great, we love it. I know there were only 40, 50, 60 people there, not that many, but believe me.
It was more, man. It was more.
And believe me, a lot more people were coming if you start coming to Wales. So we need more of it, you know, because the whole isolation thing. I think
we're not your usual cup of tea. You know, when we come around, we're loud and we're proud of deaf culture and deaf music, and we're gonna make noise. And that's what we do, and that's what we've been known for so long. I don't know why the media keep contacting me. It's like I say, it's just fate for me and my team. So, having said that, I do think of my team. It's not about me all the time, you know. I don't want to be taking all the credits. I've got a team of Death Wave Collective, and they all have a role to play, and they are all part of the movement of this structure, because I am not a one-man show.
Yeah.
Impossible, man. So I thank you for my team and my guys for carry on their commitment, because that's what we need, the commitment. And it's very difficult in the deaf community when it comes to commitment. They're not serious.
Yeah. You have this amazing motto, which I've seen you putting on Facebook over and over again.
We are one.
One. Can you explain that? I get it, but your interpretation might be different. Are you talking about the building bridges between the hearing and marginalized community, deaf community? Is that what it is, or is there more than that?
It's more than that. It's a very small story that I can tell you now. Okay, how did that happen? Me and MC Geezer, my right hand man, he's the assigned song rapper, and me and him, we was invited from Dar from Liverpool, and they send us to Indonesia.
That effect, yeah.
Sorry, Dar Fest. So they invited us to go to Indonesia and do a musical project. And our job was to create one music track with the #1 Indonesian electronic dance collective. And while we was there, it was the Asian Paralympic Games. So me and MC went down there into the massive stadium, and unfortunately I had to go to a meeting because it wasn't only that we were responsible to organize the track, we was also responsible to organize 2 events, a Death Rave party in Indonesia. So I had 3 jobs in 3 weeks, and it was in the capital of Indonesia, Jakarta.
Yeah.
So I left at the stadium, and then unfortunately I missed the president speech, but it was the vice president speech, and he was saying, "Oh, how the hearing and the disabled and the deaf community are together in this specific moment and time," and said at the end of the speech, "We are one." And that's when MC Geezer clocked it and said, "That's the track title." Okay, so we rolling with Ponyo Tone, the electronic dance collective, and we made a track. It was a kind of a hip hop dance track, and that was the eye opener, and that changed MC in big ways. And he was lucky to get a vocalist rapper named Mata Moss, brilliant rapper, and then the guy that made the track, the producer, he is a legend. Now, he had mental health issues, disability, and the very unique disability that he has is that he must listen to music 24/7. And if he doesn't listen to music, he gets this dizzy spells and faint. So he's the #1 Indonesian DJ in Indonesia. So it was an honor to work with him. And he made the track. Bam, 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 boom, 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 done. So we were very lucky to work with these guys, and that's when We Are One came around. And from there, it put us on the map.
Amazing. So I've never heard the track We Are One. I got
I will send it over.
Please do, or it'd be great if you had that opportunity to play it now.
Yeah, we've got a copy. We've got the version, so we'll send it over. No problem.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. So what a great experience to go out there, to go over to Jakarta, meeting the president speech, and then organising the event, and then all of a sudden, boom, Death Rave with pioneering.
The track. Yeah. We loved it. So We Are One. That was the chorus. Beautiful.
And what would Jakarta, the community of Jakarta, what would they respond to that? I mean, I'm talking about the non-disabled community, the hearing community. What would that do? Did it break away a bit?
I thought it was a very strict Muslim country, with strict rules. But when we arrived there, it was completely different. It was just like you're in Thailand or Vietnam, very open-minded, relaxed. It's a very strong Muslim country. I didn't have any issues with it. Everyone was very friendly, nice. A lot of people speak English, so communication wasn't a problem. When we meet deaf people, we did international sign language. That wasn't a problem. It was beautiful. They looked after us. We met so many deaf people out there at our successful Death Rave event. And the reason why we was over there in Indonesia, that we actually created the first ever rave experience for deaf people in Asia.
In Asia?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've broken down the barriers, we've broken down the boundaries. So we had a very, very, very good time. That's been one of the most wonderful experiences of my life again. I have so many experiences.
Yeah, I'm sure.
This is one of my highlights because we did one track, the 2 events, oh yes, and we did the first ever deaf DJ workshop in the world. That never happened before either, using the sub packs, which is kind of these equipment here, vibrating backpack.
Right, what's that then?
So it's basically you put it on your back, and then you can have Bluetooth, and basically you feel all the vibration and the bass. So if you're a DJ or a music producer, you can feel the rhythm, the tempo, and all the low frequencies. Boom, 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 boom. So if you're DJing, it helps you in time. So this has been a wonderful technology. So I've got like 6 of those, the old version, and we took it to Indonesia. We bought like 4 mixers, 2 laptops, and Ponyo Tone, they bought 2 laptops. And then we did some workshops with deaf Indonesian DJing. Now, for me, it was a special moment for me because no one in this world had asked me to do a DJ workshop for deaf people at all. And out of all places in the world, Indonesia. So I'm like, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wow.
And wow, that's incredible. Well done, Troy, for that. That's incredible. I mean, so in terms of workshops, I imagine you've carried on doing more workshops. I mean, with young deaf people, young deaf children, or is that
at the moment coronavirus stopped it all? You know,
of course, yeah.
With DJing workshop, it's hands-on, and if the person on the Zoom don't have the equipment, it's very difficult to teach. So we need a physical space and all the equipment and the people come in and try it out. Now, we've done quite a few workshops since then, and it's been very successful every time. Everybody loves it. You can't go wrong. And at the same time, we were teaching sign language as well to the hearing people. So we did these DJ workshops in Boomtown Festival. You know, that was an eye-opener for the hearing people to check out the technology and learning sign language. So it's working beautifully.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. I've never seen the technology there, and I'm definitely willing to experiment
They're
that.
expensive. The new one coming out in April, it's called a sub pack. They cost like £400.
Okay.
So when you're in the VR and you're in this whatever game you're on, you're gonna feel all that vibration. If it's a shooting game, it's boom, 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 boom. Or if you're gonna be in a travel experience, you probably hear the wind. So
incredible.
This picks up all the low frequency sound, not high frequency. So but I'm sure the new model coming out soon that it's going to have new stuff updated. So but it's been a wonderful tech products for deaf people, especially. I mean, can you imagine if deaf people never experienced music before?
Yeah.
Now they can experience it. I mean, you could be a DJ and you're deaf, stone deaf, and you can be a DJ. Anyone can be a DJ.
And hopefully, like you and the Dub Pack will inspire a whole new generation of young deaf artists or young deaf musicians, which is great. I mean,
we're very lucky they were our sponsor, so we're cool.
Brilliant. I want to talk. I want to talk about it. Hearing people. Okay. Do you find hearing people are dismissive of deaf musicians, or do you find them a little bit like, oh yeah, you know, okay, good, but not quite there, or I don't know. What's your take on hearing people?
50-50.
I mean, do they come to Death Rave? Do they come to Death Rave to hearing people?
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course. Death Rave, when we first started years ago, back in the rave world, you always had 2 or 3 rooms, right? You have 2 or 3 different type of music. Yeah, so you have drum and bass in one room, and then you have house in another room. So, you know, when I did my parties, I always had 2 rooms, and I didn't have enough deaf DJs. So, you know, I would use hearing DJ to come and play for Deaf Rave, and they would bring their friends. Deaf community have brothers and sisters. They're hearing, they come.
Okay.
You have interpreters, trainees, and all
Okay.
the learners, they come. You got people that's working in the deaf organizations, they come, and you get any random hearing people come. So, you know, we never excluded hearing people to our event, never. We welcome with everyone. So personally for me, I don't have no issue with anyone coming to my party, whether you're deaf or disabled or hearing, doesn't matter. Whether you're religion or gay, lesbian, doesn't matter. Whether you're black, yellow, brown, doesn't matter. You know, for me, it's like we are one, or it's all nation. So, you know, I'm open minded. You know, I'm very lucky that I'm very mixed background. So, you know, I've experienced different cultures, have many different friends with all in London specifically. It's all different colours. You know, we're very lucky. So, when it comes to hearing people for Death Rave, we've never had issues at all, ever, never. Always welcome, and we just basically want them to be aware of deaf culture. That's what we're doing it for. And secondly, we want to build a bridge. So if the hearing people come, they might have some specific skills or knowledge, and they might want to connect with me or my team or with this deaf person. Exchange, come, let's work together. So yeah, that's one area when it's hearing people come to Death Rave. But when we actually go to hearing events, it's a different view, a different perspective, different experience. Most of the time good, and sometimes negative.
Yeah, you don't get that same vibe, don't you? As opposed with...
It's the same as everywhere. Nothing's perfect. It's not all gravy, is it? You know? It can be frustrating sometimes, but that's normal, isn't it? But we have the responsibility to inform these hearing people, whatever the situation is. You know, you have to carry the extra baggage to tell them, oh, you know, deaf awareness or how we communicate or whatever. For me, I'll do a little bit of that sometime when I can be bothered. But if this hearing person is rude by looking at the body language, and I can work it out, you know, in some kind of like telepathy mind, whether he's good karma or a bad karma. If he's bad karma, then forget it. I'm not going to communicate with this person. I'm gone. But if it's a good vibes and a good karma, then we can carry on talking. But I have experienced a lot of time when hearing people get stiff with deaf people all the time. Sometimes, yeah.
So from your experience, you know, being an advocate for music and the wider society, what doesn't work? You know, what hadn't worked for you?
They want to work with me. They want to work with me for free. Okay, so I feel strongly that if anybody approach me and they want to work with me, it's a give and take. Yeah. So it's important that you need to know what you're getting yourself into for whatever reason. So I don't know if that answered the question. What's the question again? Say again the question.
No. Talking about like from your experience, and how you're an advocate for music and
Media.
yeah, and the wider society. I'm trying to think about, what are the broken things that we need to talk about more, that kind of thing.
For me personally, I don't have any issues with any of that, to be honest. The only thing I could possibly think, I don't know if I'm answering it right,
Okay.
probably one experience that I saw in Glastonbury for Deaf Zone, which is
Okay.
run by Dr. Paddy Ladd.
Oh, Paddy, yeah.
Yeah. And Deaf Zone is basically provide an interpreting service. So at the festival for artists, performers. So but there are one or two interpreters that will take all the credit because they're signing on the front, blah 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 blah. And then obviously the BBC will have an interview with these interpreters because it was a big thing, a couple of summer ago, they were taking the limelight. But what I find it frustrating that the interpreters are only talking about themselves and not talking about Deaf Zone. So, it was Deaf Zone that put you there in the first place. So, you don't exclude what brought you in the first place. So, it's a matter of, how do I say it? Respect. So, I've had bad experience working with hearing people, for example, and deaf people as well. So when we're doing partnerships or collaborations, or especially partnerships, it's very dangerous at times because it's always can have the two people have different ideas at the end and it's just split. So from my experience over the years, I've worked with a few people and it been a cutthroat business. They just want to take over my business. They just want to take over Deaf Rave. They want to change the name of Deaf Rave. I've experienced that a few times in my lifetime. Now I won't never let that happen again. So I learned from that. I learned from it. So there's always going to be someone out there that want to take over it or looking for a way how to make money, And to be honest with you, Deaf Rave is not about money. Deaf Rave is about providing opportunities and providing platform for our deaf community to show the world that we deaf people love music or performing music or any performances. But that's what I do. So I can only support my deaf community. I'm not really aiming for the hearing people at all. But, in this world here, everyone wants to get involved and want to make some money somewhere. So, Deaf Rave never really made money. So I don't know why we get these people trying to take over me, but it's just a weird experience. But you learn it, and you know who you have to trust. So now I know what I've been through. I ain't going back down that road again at all.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a massive element of trust, and you have to have that trust. And it looks like you've got a very good core team within Deaf Rave to.
The funny thing is, having said that, is that we deaf community has suffered so much. I mean, sometimes I look at it and I say, you know what, deaf people are special gold. We're like the cash cow. You get hearing people want to get learning sign language and they want to get involved in the deaf community and they have this deaf, oh sorry, you're deaf, blah blah blah. We get a lot of those people in this world here. I can see it from a mile away who they are, but it's politics, man. It's deaf politics. It's we deaf people being taken advantage. We get abused. We get ripped off. You know. I can imagine myself going through it. Then I can imagine what all the other people are going through, and even 10 times worse than my experience. That's more hard, man. And that's what leads to mental health. And this is one thing that I don't really like what our community has faced over the years and generation. You know, we're like a lost voice. And sometimes I feel like I am the voice for my people because I'm gonna stand up for their rights. You know, I'm very passionate for my deaf community. And I just don't like it when someone's taking the piss. That's when I step in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally get everything what you're saying, you know, and I've noted that with COVID, a lot of people have started to learn sign language just for the
Online, right?
yeah, and which is great. I mean, are they learning sign language because they've got nothing else to do, or are they learning sign language because they really want to? And why haven't you made your video detectable in that word? So you're right, there's a lot of things there, and COVID made me think a lot about these things. So there are, you've been brilliant. Thank you, Troi, for your openness. It's been amazing.
It's a straightforward talk. I mean, that's the truth, you know, there's nothing
Yeah,
but the truth.
exactly.
You can't hide it and deny it. I mean, it's just what's happening real, you know?
Now, I just want to finish off a little bit about, you know, we've gone back to the topic of COVID. We've talked a lot about the highs and lows of COVID. What have you missed most? What's the most thing you've missed so much?
For my son to go out and meet his family,
Yeah,
go out and meet
I get that.
experience outdoors, you know.
Yeah,
I have to keep thinking, well, we're conscious, you know, the moment that you leave that door, you know, anything can happen. And, you know, they have new coronavirus strains. Yeah. So there's new one. So even though I've caught it before, I can catch it again. And yeah, it's frustrating because I've got old mum and dad, so I can't really visit them. So yeah, it's tough. But we just have to ride it out, and just get on.
and yeah,
But you've got to keep positive,
and,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's not easy for my partner, it's not easy for my boy, not easy for me, not easy for my team, not easy for anyone. We're all in the same boat, man. It's just a question of how you deal with it and how you handle it. That's all.
Lastly, the last question I'm going to ask you, what do we like to see change in the future post-COVID world? I mean, you know, we talked a lot about maybe lack of deaf awareness, lack of respect. What would you like to see in the future? What would be the new normal for you? What change would you like to see in the post-COVID world?
Well,
I mean,
definitely events, actual events, because if we don't meet, deaf people don't meet, mental health is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So we'll probably see more commit suicides and stuff like that, which we don't want to see or hear. So, you know, that's one thing that we don't want to go through. We really need to get back together in human body form, you know, physically. But it's all down to the government, and they make that decision. You just have to follow those rules, because we're in the UK and we're not in Vietnam. Why I say that is because in Vietnam, I have family there, and there's only since January 2020, only 35 people died so far. So they must be know what they must be know what they're doing, man. You know what I mean? So I wish that we could have followed what Vietnam did. And what they did was just close the border. Just close the border. Done. Simple logics.
Well, my partner's from Australia, and they're an island, just like the UK. They just closed the border. They stopped people from coming in. So they've had really minimal cases. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
So, but I mean, it's really affecting the deaf community big time. So I'm just hoping we can get back. But yeah, the deaf community will just have to be positive, man. Positive. That's all I can say, man. What do I want to see in the future? I just want to see my boy have a happiness of growing up, childhood, and yeah, it will come. So we just got to
definitely come. It would definitely come. Sure. I think you've got to have that kind of positive vibe, that little bit sense of optimism that would happen.
Yeah.
Troi, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been amazing talking with you. I know from last time we spoke, we could talk for hours and hours, but I'm going to have to say I'm going to do the final clap and then we'll stop recording. Thank you, Troi.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Have a good one.